What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ed Honcho, and y'all know what it is. It is the second greatest week in football. It's draft week. Actually, I don't know. Draft week might be the third greatest week because Super Bowl week is pretty big. That's like the biggest week. But if your team's not playing, then it's just kind of like who gives a fuck. But so we'll call it the second biggest week. But anyway, draft week. Draft day is on Thursday. We find out whether or not your team gets better, it stays mediocre, or some kind of combination of the both. Get better in some places and they lose some quality in others. But anyway, since this is draft week, I want to stick on the topic of the Texans and the draft. Yesterday we talked about bigger needs than quarterback for the Texans. Today I want to talk about the Texans historically and how they have performed in the draft. More specifically, the constant denominator, Rick Smith. So, let's just take a quick glance at the history. We're going to just talk about a couple of things. Like I say, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time up because if you're a Texans fan, then you already have your particular feelings about Rick Smith. And the reason I want to talk about Rick Smith because earlier in the offseason, I gave him a whole lot of credit for the Brock Osweiler trade. And I think that I kind of rescinded some of that credit because I think that I don't think he had as much to do with it. I think he was just opportunistic and had the potential to be able to fire off that trade. So, good on him for that. But I'm not going to give him full credit for that. I'm going to give the Browns, more. It's hot coffee. More brownie points for that than I would Rick Smith. Anyway, so like I said, let's look at Rick Smith historically. We're not gonna go all the way back to the very beginning of his career, but let's start with let's talk about this decade, the 2010s. So far this decade, what has Rick Smith done for the longevity of the Texans? Now, Rick Smith has been. I'm gonna give him an A+ in his first round picks because he's excellent in the first round. But the first round to me seems like you're 50-50 on the guys that you pick, whether or not they pan out, because you usually have an eye for the type of talent. Where you pick value is in the later rounds. Really, after the third round is where you start finding value in players. And to me, he hasn't really done that very well. Now there have been a couple of guys who have come through and panned out, but as far as maintaining and keeping talent, growing talent here in the Texans and making it stay home, I don't know if I can give him a A+ in that category. But let's go over the first rounds for this decade. 2010, Kareem Jackson. 2011, J.J. Watt. 2012, Merciless. 13, Hopkins. Clowney in 14. We had Kevin Johnson in 15, and then Will Fuller last year. Now, all in all, those guys have panned out pretty well. We can't jump the gun on Fuller yet, simply because he's a rookie last year. Had a solid, I want to say solid, had a decent rookie campaign. Had some injuries and things, but so I'm not going to count him out. The potential is absolutely there. If he can tighten them hands up, he would definitely be a hit, a nice complementary piece to Hopkins. All those other guys, for the most part, I can't complain about any of those first round picks. They're all still with the team, all producing for the team at a high level. Kevin Johnson got injured, but we see the potential in him. He's going to be he's definitely going to be a Pro Bowler before it's all said and done with. The guy just has heart, and I can be honest, I was skeptical. I was real skeptical on that pick because he was so light. But the dude comes to play the dude balls. And so I can't complain about that. So it actually turned out to be a real good pick. Now let's look at the second round picks in the same time frame. We have Ben Tate, Brooks Reed, DeVere? No, that one DeVere was a third round. We don't think we had a second round that year. Swearinger, Suafilo, McKinney, and who we get Martin last year, right? Yeah, Nick Martin. So, yet again, Martin looks like he got some potential. Got injured. Haven't been able to see what he can do on the field yet. But man, I'm really excited, hoping that he gets to get healthy and play well this year. But let's look at the others. Ben Tate gone. Started out had a good couple of years, then just kind of went downhill. Got in Kubiak's doghouse, and after that, he was never the same. He left here, and I don't know if he's even in the league anymore. Brooks Reed, I want to say, was he with Atlanta now? No longer with the team. He was a solid talent. Brooks had a good rookie year, I believe, and then kind of after that, it was kind of meh, you know. He would make plays here and there, but he kind of rescinded to me. Let's see what we got. Like I said, yeah, that weird we didn't have Swearinger. That was just a couple of years ago. Swearinger's already. He didn't last very long at all. You know, didn't even. I don't think he made it. Didn't even make it through the rookie contract. Swearinger did not maintain. I liked Swearinger, but he couldn't cover for shit. Motherfucker would knock your fucking block off if he connected. But there's so many times he'd either whiff on a fucking hit or, you know, just not wrap up and follow through. So I mean, he was a dog, but yeah, he had some issues, and I think his dog actually bit Clowney. So you definitely had to go. We got Suafilo showing progress. And McKinney was they hit on McKinney. McKinney was a good one. McKinney's showing a lot of progress, showing like he may be the future of the Texans. He's definitely going to be a core component of the future of the defense of the Texans. So that was a good one. And then, like I say, Martin, like I say, he got injured, so we don't know. Second round grade, like I say, it drops dramatically. I give him a C in the second round because, like I say, in that same time frame, a lot of those guys aren't even here anymore. Half those guys are gone. And then, like I say, you haven't seen too much, but the guys that are still here, like I say, which is the last couple of years, you've seen a little bit of shine from them. And like I say, you start getting to the third, you just look at some of these names. Like I say, I'm not going to go all the way down every one of these, but like I say, let's just cover the years real quick. 2010, the draft was Kareem Jackson, Ben Tate, Earl Mitchell, Daryl Sharpton. I like Daryl Sharpton, but I'm not sure what happened to him. Sherry McManus, Trendon Holiday, Shelley Smith, and Doran Dixon. Trendon Holiday, man, that shit blew my mind because I don't understand how he could not do it for the Texans and goes to the Broncos, and I mean, he just starts just returning every fucking thing. I mean, you couldn't fucking stop him. But like I say, hey, it is what it is. That probably had to do more so with special teams coaching than anything else. You got 2011, you got J.J. Brooks Reed, Brandon Harris, Carmichael, Shiloh K.O., Yates, the Bengal killer, T.J. Yates, yes. Newton, and somebody I'm not going to pronounce him. I've never even heard of him, honestly, so I'm not going to pronounce his name. Newton panned out. You could give him value on that one. It just took a while because Newton was not that good at first. And it took him a bit, but he started to get good, but then now he got injured. And that might actually be a career for him. 2012, Merciless Posey, Brooks, Ben Jones, Martin, Keyshawn Martin, Jared Crick, Fat Randy Bullock, and Mondek. Fat Randy cost us a couple of games. Merciless, great pick. Posey, I liked Posey. I guess he just, he just kind of withered out, had some injuries. That Achilles right when he was starting to kind of come into his own. I like Ben Jones, but he went to the Titans, I think, so fuck Ben Jones because you go to the fucking enemy, fuck you. Only one who gets a pass on that is Andre Johnson. Other than that, fuck you. You ain't put in enough work for the Texans to be doing no shit like that. 13, Hopkins, Swearinger, Brennan Williams, Sam Montgomery, Trevardo, Kissenberry, Bonner, Alan Bonner, Chris Jones, and Ryan Griffin. Griffin came out of that. That was a good one. Kissenberry, he was, he's coming back. He's finally healthy, and I'm glad for that. So he'll be back on the field hopefully this year. Sam Montgomery, and I want to say him and that other guy. That was the ones who got caught smoking in the hotel room, I believe, and so they didn't see nothing happen with that. And then, like I said, you had 2014 Clowney, Suafilo, Lewis, Nick, Savage, Pagan, Alfred Blue, Prost, Valentine, and Hal. You got a couple of guys still on the team. Howes played some significant time. Valentine, I'd like to see him play some more. Prosh has done quite a bit, blocking at the fullback position, and he's done make some plays for the Texans. Savage, we're going to see what he's capable of because, like I said, I don't know if I think if the opportunity for a quarterback falls to the Texans, then of course they're going to jump on it. But I don't see them getting a guy that they like in the first round, so maybe in a later round to maybe develop. So I see Savage as probably being the guy, being the starter going into next year, has the best understanding of the playbook. And I think just gives us the best option either way. Even if they did draft a rookie in the first round, there's no way that he's going to pick that playbook up, in time to start. So he'll still have to be developed either way. So, and then like that, Suafilo's starting to come into his own. Clowney, without injury is the man child, so you know how that is. 2015, Kevin Johnson, McKinney, Strong, Mumphrey, Cleat, Covington, and Hilliard. Covington was a nice pick out of that. Of course, Johnson, McKinney, we already know. Strong, I think, needs to see some more time on the field because Strong can make some plays. He just needs to, get off that other shit. I can be on that other shit. He can't be on that. He's a professional football player. That's a no-no. So you can't do that type of shit. Like I say, Covington is coming to a nice pick. And then, like I say, last year we got these guys. A lot of them are still trying to pan out. You got Fuller, Martin, Miller, Irvin, Dillon, and Reeder. And actually, those guys, Reeder contributed significantly. Miller got hurt. I want to see a lot more from Braxton Miller this year. I think Miller could be that X factor piece that a lot of teams don't have. He brings a nice skill set, a unique skill set to the table that a lot of teams don't have in a player. So definitely need to capitalize on that. Dillon, I'm not sure on. I haven't, like I said, he's a rookie, so I may not have given him enough time, But like I say, Martin, I want to see something from. Irvin, I don't know how that experiment's working out as far as the return game. He had a couple of good breaks last year, but I don't remember him returning any. I know Fuller did. So we'll see what happens with that. And then, some of the guys they got off the street, Wendell Williams and a couple of guys. Wendell Williams, I want to see what he can do. I think he needs to have a couple of more opportunities. That dude he's a real fucking burner. So, like I say, but this is the history of Rick Smith over the years. And like I say, you go through this list and you saw a lot of guys that potentially had some talent that didn't pan out, that may have kind of evaporated into who knows where some of these guys are now. Some of these guys end up going to other teams and actually started to thrive. So it makes you wonder what was going on, if it was something with the coaching going on in those years and things like that. But like I say, the last few years since B.O.B. has been here, we seem to have retained the talent. I think the guys like playing for him. I think that he's a player's coach. He's a shit talker, but he has things he wants done a certain way. I know that he's about the team, but the fact that, when he went to bat for guys like Hopkins in a recent interview, things like that, the players like that shit like that. So, a lot of people say they're blaming B.O.B. for this. I think there's a bit of a power struggle. What he wants to be able to do is what he saw up in New England. And he wants control like that in New England, like he probably had at Penn State. And in places like that, he doesn't have that type of control over the team in Houston, and that bothers him because, he wants to be able to lay the smack down, understand that my word is law. I am the end-all, be-all. If I have the ability just to boot somebody out of here at will, to make the players respect him, things like that. And I'm not saying that they don't respect him, but like I say, this ain't New England, even though they're acting like Patriot South. But this is about Rick Smith. And like I say, man, overall, I know they recently in an article, they ranked him one of the top 10 GMs. I'd really have to look and see what every other GM has done historically. I just have a hard time buying that. And like I say, it's not just about the draft. It's some other moves that have been made. The fact that the Hopkins contract situation last year, you should have got him and you probably would have had more value for him. Now you're putting him in a position where he's probably going to walk. I've been saying this for years. I've been saying it for years before Osweiler, when he had to play with all those different quarterbacks. I've been saying this for years that DeAndre Hopkins will walk when that contract is up. If there's not a quarterback here, the dude can ball. If you can't get him the ball so he can make plays, he's going to go somewhere where he can put his talent on display. The dude is a competitor. He likes to compete. If you can't get the ball, he can't compete. So, anyway, like I said, I'm going off a tangent. We're talking about Rick Smith, and I want to know what you guys think. How do you feel about Rick Smith? Like I said, I was real high on him because of the Cleveland trade, but I had to really think about it and just kind of look at historically, what has he done? What has Rick Smith brought to the table as far as being a GM? And like I say, it's a bunch of first round success, which I don't think warrants a whole lot of praise. I mean, he found a few unknowns that actually became really good, but I don't know if it was him necessarily that picked him, or maybe coaches who had more so of a hand in that. But like I said, with that being said, man, you guys let me know your thoughts. Let me know your comments, what you feel, how you feel. If your opinion has changed at all about the picks in the draft. I was really thinking quarterback heavy. I'm starting to think O-line, but I'm gonna get to that in another video. But as always, show me some love right here at Real Ed Honcho. Subscribe, like, share if you like what's going on. Instagram, Twitter, all that good shit. Deuce up. I'm Ed Honcho, and I'm out.